It's interesting that here on a Thursday, I didn't know what I was going to talk about specifically, but as we take another step toward what is next, where the time falls back this weekend and it starts getting darker all the time and colder all the time in most parts of the country, although I'm in Florida, and we start having coughs, colds, and flu. Now, one of the most recommended and prescribed, I'll call it medications, that basically 9 out of 10 doctors recommend continually. If you call up and say, hey doc, I got a cough, a cold, a flu. Well, first we're going to ask you questions on whether or not it's COVID, but we're going to move on and say Mucinex is one of the most recommended 90% of the time by doctors. Is that the correct advice? You're fighting the flu, you're choking on the mucus. Is Mucinex the right way to go? We're going to get started here in 1 minute and try to answer that question. Hang in there. The information you hear on the Nutrition Shop Health Talk with Dr. Len is strictly educational and is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. Any healthcare decision should be discussed with your health professional. And now, here is Dr. Len. And again, thank you so much for listening and sharing. As this show spreads across the United States, we ask you again to share it with somebody who could benefit from this kind of information. Now, my name is Len Branswitz. I am the host. I own the Nutrition Shop in Peachtree City, Georgia, where we do nutritional counseling. And if you want more information on that, you can check out more about me or about our shop and about our business model at thenutritionshop.net. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology put a report out October 14th. We're going to get into that and much, much more after our national anthem. To anyone listening in the state of Virginia, nice job. Nice job. Said that idiot Biden a message. So, cough, cold, flu, mucus. We run to the doctor or we listen to the very cutesy little TV commercials from Mucinex, and we jump in the car and go to the drugstore and go to Walgreens or CVS and pick up Mucinex. Let it dissolve that mucus. Listen, I'm not going to badmouth it. Does it work? Yeah, it does. More than 200 square meters of our body, including the digestive tract, lungs, and urinary tract, are lined with mucus. Your fat, when we go take Mucinex, you have the potential here to disrupt the digestive tract. Well, you want that for the lungs, and the urinary tract. 200 square meters. You ready for this? As God created our bodies, 2,152.7821 square feet. 2,000 square feet. I should divide that out. 2,152 divided by 4 equals. Not quite the size of a football field. Interesting. In recent years, scientists have found some evidence that mucus is not just a physical barrier that traps bacteria and viruses, but it can also disarm pathogens and prevent them from causing infections. Yet we jump on Mucinex right away to get it out of the body, where this is your God-given immune system saying, let's stop this thing. I know what you're going to say. You're going, well, I don't want to choke on that mucus. Well, I have a solution. We'll talk about that toward the end. A new study from MIT reveals that glycans, branched sugar molecules found in mucus, are responsible for most of this microbe taming. There are hundreds of different glycans in mucus, and MIT discovered that these molecules can prevent bacteria from communicating with each other and forming infectious biofilms. Probably one of the biggest problems we have in medicine today. We have infections that just linger. Let's call it long COVID disease. You see that happening. And people that just can't seem to kick an infection. And we're getting multitudes of resistances with the antibiotics that we use. What we have in mucus is a therapeutic gold mine, said Katerina Rybak, a Mark Hyman Jr. career development professor. These glycans have biological functions that are very broad and sophisticated. They have the ability to regulate how microbes behave and really tune their identity. In this study, which appears in the Journal of Nature Microbiology, the Nature is focused on glycans' interactions with Pseudomonas aeruginosa, an opportunistic pathogen that can cause infections in cystic fibrosis patients and people with compromised immune systems. Work now underway in Rybak's lab has shown that glycans can regulate the behavior of other microbes as well. The average person produces several liters of mucus every day, and until recently this mucus was thought to function primarily as a lubricant or a physical barrier. However, Rybak and others have shown that mucus can actually interfere with bacterial behavior, preventing microbes from attaching to surfaces and communicating with one another. In the new study, Rybak wanted to test whether glycans were involved in mucus's ability to control the behavior of microbes. These sugar molecules, a type of oligosaccharide, attach to proteins called mucins, the gel-forming building blocks of mucus, to form a bottle brush-like structure. Mucus-associated glycans have been little studied. You know, we've seen all the pictures of COVID. Picture this now, like a bottle brush. To explore that possibility, she isolated glycans and exposed them to Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Upon exposures to mucin glycans, the bacteria underwent broad shifts in behavior that rendered them less harmful to the host. For example, they no longer produced toxins attached to or killed host cells, or expressed genes essential for bacterial communication. The microbe disoming activity had powerful consequences on the ability of this bacterium to establish infections. Rybak has shown that the treatment of Pseudomonas-infected burn wounds with mucins and mucin glycans reduces bacterial proliferation. So if somebody gets a really bad burn, a first secondary burn, they can now treat it with these glycans, these sugar molecules. And I watched a special last night on honey. Natural, local honey that helps the healing process and stops bacterial spread, especially when there's a burn. Pseudomonas aeruginosa is just one of many opportunistic pathogens that healthy mucus keeps in check. Rybak is now studying the role of glycans in regulating other pathogens, including Streptococcus and the fungus, the one that we hear about all the time, Candida albicans. It's also working on identifying receptors on the microbe cell surfaces that interact with glycans. Her work on Streptococcus has shown that glycans can block horizontal gene transfer, a process that microbes use to spread. Harnessing the power of mucus could also lead to new ways to treat antibiotic-resistant infections. What we find here is nature has evolved the ability to disarm difficult microbes instead of killing them. This would not only help limit selective pressure for developing resistance, because they're under pressure to find ways to survive, but it should also help create and maintain a diverse microbiome. Do I need to get into probiotics again? Okay, I will. Here's a little piece on our Ultra Probiotic. Listen up. Hey everybody, I want to talk to you for just a minute about our probiotic of choice called our Ultra Probiotic. Delivers 30 billion viable organisms per serving of 10 different beneficial strains. A combination of freeze-dried probiotic bacteria with inulin, a beneficial prebiotic. 30 billion organisms in 2 capsules. Each capsule has 15 billion good bacteria. Ultra Probiotic contains both probiotics and prebiotics that work together to support digestion in the immune system. Featuring a proprietary blend of 10 different probiotic strains plus inulin, a prebiotic that stimulates the growth of friendly intestinal bacteria to support colon health. As a dietary supplement, 2 vegetable capsules daily, preferably with a meal. Conforms to USP for weight, dissolution, disintegration, and maximum bioavailability. Contains no artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, no preservatives, no sugar, no starch, no soy, no wheat, no fish, and it is sodium-free and non-GMO. Made in USA in an FDA-registered facility in Tennessee by good manufacturing practices. Again, our probiotic of choice, our Ultra Probiotic, 60 capsules in a bottle. If you want more information on that, by all means, give our staff a call at 678-228-8900. That's 678-228-8900. And get our Ultra Probiotic into your life for you and your family. Take care. So if you're one of those that has many bottles of Mucinex around the house and it becomes a staple this time of year, the whole family takes it, and you wonder why you're continually getting more and more infections, maybe now you know the reason. So let me give you the name Sambucus. A lot of you have heard that name as an extract from elderberry. When COVID first started, we couldn't get Sambucus in stock because everybody that developed a cough was taking Sambucus. It's now available again. You should have a bottle of the liquid for kids, liquid for adults, on the shelf in your house all the time. And for more serious conditions, if we have a lung issue for which there's continual breathing issues, there's a prep by a company called Energetics called Core, C-O-R-E, Core Sambucus. It's liquid drops that you take orally. That is an amazing way to keep the pathways open without suppressing mucus. It'll keep it from becoming bothersome, but it will help to keep it in check. You want more information on Sambucus products? Give our staff a call at 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900. God bless you, folks, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.